Geocachamaniacs.
Geo Gearhead.
Welcome back to the Geo Gearheads. This is episode 381. We're going to be doing some geocaching.com insights tonight. But before we do that, I'm Daryl W44. Chris, well, you know what? I almost called you the bad cop, but I got all messed up with it. It's Chris of the Northwest.
Chris of the bad cop.
Chris of
yes,
the bad cop.
I used to be the bad cop, but now I'm no longer because law enforcement took a bad rap there for a while, and I didn't think that was appropriate anymore. So I am Chris of the Northwest, which fits me because my name is Chris, and guess what? I'm in the Northwest. I know you didn't see that one coming.
Well, and you even do a show about the Northwest.
It's enough about me. You know what we're here to do tonight, Daryl?
Go get some pizza.
Oh, I haven't had pizza in a long time. That sounds good. Okay.
I'm in.
So, everyone, thanks for watching. We're going to go get some pizza now.
We should do a show of just us eating pizza. I mean, who wouldn't love that?
Maybe we'll save that for the patron shows.
There we go. We're coming up on show 400. Can you believe that? 400 episodes?
I know. I went and created all those Google Docs today for yesterday for the rundown. It was like, I don't believe we're almost there. Time to run and hide.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, we're here to talk about geocaching insights, and what better way to do that than to have somebody from Geocaching HQ. You probably noticed the third video there, but wasn't going to say anything. It's okay. We'll talk about it now. Welcome, Anika. I'm so glad you could be here with us.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Now, tell us first a little bit about what you do over at Geocaching HQ, aside from writing lots of blog posts, which we're going to have the link to in the show notes.
Yeah. So I'm on the marketing team, and I specialize in international marketing because I come originally from Germany, and so a lot of our players are in Germany. Actually, this is the second biggest geocaching country out there. So I do a lot of targeted marketing for that region and France as well. But then I'm also responsible for some of the campaigns we're doing, the engagement campaigns, the souvenir challenges as such.
And I think you're also the first guest who gets to claim that they came live from their boat.
Exactly. I have been banned from the house and I'm up here in I'm on land, sadly, but in the boat right now. So my 1-year-old is not screaming his lungs out for me. So.
Oh, you broke the illusion. We thought you were heading to a cache, like a 5.5 cache on the boat.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? No, no, I'm stuck on land, fish on land.
Nice. Now, how long have you been geocaching?
I've been geocaching since 2013, so coming up on 6 years, or just a little over 6, I think. Yeah.
So, is it true every German citizen is required to geocache?
Yes. Yeah, I would have lost my citizenship if I didn't cache enough. That's why they had me leave the country. I'm not allowed to live there anymore.
Okay.
But yeah.
No, I completely believe that based on the German geocachers that come here to America.
Yeah.
For all the events. It's like, wow, that's some incredible commitment. I may not go to a mega event if I have to drive an hour, and they're, flying across the Atlantic. So I'm, I look at this and go, well, maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe the Germans are right, and I'm not. I claim a German heritage, but
well, that's true, obviously. But additionally, Germans I think they have so much more vacation time than we have here in the US. So traveling is just such a big part there because, you have the time to do it. It's not often here. I feel it's not just the money. I mean, obviously, it's also not cheap to travel, but it's often you just have a couple weeks of vacation a year. So there's just not that much time.
That's true. That's really good insight. See, that was the insights we're looking for from geocaching.com.
Yeah, culture.
So we know Germany and the Czech Republic are geocaching is huge there. How is it in France?
It's actually a little bigger in some ways than in Czech Republic, and it's growing very rapidly there. We have in the last few years, we have seen immense growth in France, just more and more people coming into the game, discovering it.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It's great.
I spent, 16 months in France, but it was pre-year 2000. In fact, I was there for Y2K. So, that was before geocaching. So I have to go back and claim some of those.
Yeah, I would think at that time there wasn't any caches there.
That's a shame.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah,
you could have gotten your stats all,
I know. And at that time I could actually speak French. Now, not so much.
Not so much.
I don't have a chance to use it, so you lose it.
Oh, so quickly. I had it in school, but I wouldn't even, call myself a French speaker anymore at all. Yeah.
No, not if you're talking to a Frenchman. No way do you call yourself a French speaker.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you one story and then we'll get back to what we're really here to talk about.
Yeah.
So, after a couple of months in French school, we went to Paris. We had a break. And, I thought really hard. I'm going to talk to the taxi driver. I'm going to use French. I did everything but conjugate the verb properly. Everything else was accurate. And he had no idea what I was saying. and that's really true in French. If you don't conjugate the verb properly, if the verb is conjugated properly and the rest of the sentence is wrong, they at least have an idea what you're saying.
Yeah. No, and some of the verbs, some of their forms do not have a single letter in in the same as the infinitive has. So it's so different. It's so confusing. Yeah. It's a difficult language. German is difficult, but French I feel is almost more difficult. But then again, I don't know.
You have to learn a few short words and then just keep putting them all together.
Exactly.
Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah. That's
Why
how
describe
it is.
things with one or two words when you can use, I don't know, it seems like 16 or 17.
You got to be accurate.
Oh, that's true.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. We're not here to talk about European languages, though. I could talk about it all evening and it would still be fun. But we're here to talk about, I want to say it in French, cache carnival, carnival.
Yeah.
How did this idea come about?
So we have, we set goals for the year for our team, but also company-wide. And one goal we really wanted to focus on as a company this year was cache quality. Because, it speaks for itself. I don't need to really explain why this is an important topic, to look at. And so because we know when spring comes around, we want to give people extra incentive to leave the house and get back into geocaching, shake off their winter coats and get out there. So we know we always want to do something around springtime. And then, so with that in mind, Carnival made sense because it is just like cache quality or hiding caches. People have, so much passion for creating these creative floats. It happens all around the world. It's really colorful and varied. You see so many different things. And so we felt that has such a connection to that theme of cache hiding and quality caches and and being creative, but also the community aspect of it, that everybody comes together and celebrates it and is part of it. And it's just this big happy family, like the geocaching family is. And that's really, really how that came to be.
Nice. Well, I truly hope HQ doesn't run another promotion based on favorite points, because I think I used up all the highly favorited caches in my area to complete.
Well, we try not to repeat ourselves too much, within means.
Well, the problem is I typically try to go out and find those high favorite point caches when I have, a good weekend and, go find the ones around it. So I don't think I have any left around me. And our like big noted hider who gets all the favorite points takes down his caches for the winter, and they're not back up yet.
Oh no! Oh, that's inside.
But I didn't have time to go find them anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, not to worry. I can guarantee you the next souvenir challenge won't be specifically about favorite points.
Yes.
Ooh, so we have some secret insight.
There you go. It'll be about lack of favorite points. Go find the ones that have zero favorite points.
It's if you find a cache with even just one favorite point, all souvenirs you have ever earned are taken away from you.
Oh, oh, I like you.
Oh, please, listeners, understand sarcasm. Otherwise, a lot of emails. What? Yeah.
No, nice. I don't think anyone who listens to this show has any clue what sarcasm is.
No.
That's pleasant.
So I think we may have spoiled, if somebody had not heard about Cache Carnival before today, that it's it is over, right?
Yeah, it is over. It ended on Sunday.
That it was all about going out and getting highly favorited caches.
Yes.
The more favorite points on the cache, the more points you could earn.
Exactly.
And of course, those were broken down into categories and such. So,
and then additionally, what we're really excited about, we were able to also add the functionality that if you are a cache owner and you get a favorite point awarded to your cache, you also earn points. So it was the first time that we were able to really, bring the cache hider into the leaderboard and get them, rewarded for everything they're doing for the community, which is everything the game is.
Exactly. So, yeah, some of the highly favorited cache hiders in the area, you saw all their leaderboards were divisible by 25. So I was like, I don't think they even went out and found a cache. They didn't have to.
No, we heard some people have not found one, which, maybe if one of our goals was also to get people to find caches, that might for them wasn't the biggest incentive anymore. But you can only do one or the other. So we're trying to balance it.
In the chat, GSM times 2 says, I love that this was the first time they rewarded hiders. That was great.
Yes. No, I also think I was glad that we were able to do it, because it's, something that had some considerable questions behind it, how we do it, how can we, how is it even, how the database even recognizes it, and how can we then get that in. You can see I have intensive technical background. That's why I'm using all these words. I do not.
No, I appreciate that you take something so complicated and bring it so down to earth that I can understand it.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, so it was more complicated than it seems, maybe from the outside. So we were very happy we made it in time and we got it to work properly. And so, yeah.
Nice. So we'll go over quickly the point values. 0 to 4 favorite points on a cache you find, that's 3 points. 5 to 9 favorite points got you 5. 10 to 24 got you 10. 25 to 49 got you 25. And then 50 or more favorite points got you 50 points per cache. If you attended any event, you got 15 points. And if you earned a favorite point on a geocache you owned, that's 25 points.
Yeah.
So, those points can add up quickly if you go out and choose the right geocaches to find.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also can be a real challenge, just depending where you are, or how long you've been playing the game, because you might have found them all, as we have just discovered. And so it's really sometimes tough to pick the right point values, or what point values the souvenirs should be awarded at, because it's so varied, and we see that in the comments. It's which is quite funny. We see one comment saying this was way too easy, and right underneath somebody would say, I can never get to 500. How am I ever supposed to get? So it's so then we know we did it right.
Exactly.
Complaints on both ends of the spectrum, and they're pretty balanced, I feel.
Yeah, and it really depends where you are. Well, and I want to add on top of that what kind of cashier you are. Because if you're, say, in a very rural area and, 15 caches may be all you have in your town and you've already found them, you're going to have to do some driving and, you may not be able to get to 500 points. If you're in a larger city, there could be hundreds of caches around you, and it's so easy to get to that 500 points in an afternoon. So.
Yeah. But in the end, anything we would do that rewards caching and finding caches in in any shape or form probably runs into that issue. So we always try to make it that most people have, if they have the ability to get all the souvenirs, but still there should be a little bit of challenge in it. So not so easy that everybody gets it by not even trying,
Right. So how long was the Cache Carnival open for?
3 weeks.
Okay.
It started March 25th and then ran until April 14th.
Okay. And you keep mentioning souvenirs, and that's kind of why you went out and did this, right? Is to earn souvenirs.
Yeah, there are, they're nice mementos. They're usually very, which I think our creative team always does a really good job, creating them and making them look really beautiful. And so, you collect them and they're displayed on your profile on the web and the app. And so you can look back and remember the good times, hopefully.
And there were 5 souvenirs to get with a bonus one, correct?
No, there were 5 souvenirs within the Cache Carnival, but also because this was the cache quality focus, we also had another component of the campaign, and those were the creation celebration events. And if you would attend one of these, you also got another souvenir. So you could earn 6, but one with just caching, and then one with attending a specific registered event. And that event should have been about cache quality in some sense. So either a workshop, or that you tell your best geocaching stories, or you give tips and tricks. I think I saw some that were about how to make a creative logbook, which I found really cool. Some were about how to, tree climb. In Europe, we had a lot of those. And so just helping other people discover more about high quality caches and how to make them or how to find them.
Nice. And it couldn't be just any event. It had to be a registered creation celebration event. Yes,
because there were, additionally to the regular geocaching event guidelines, there were a few extra guidelines that you had to adhere to, so that it isn't just, a regular meet and greet, which we wanted to incentivize that this really is an event with purpose. So,
GSM times 2 in the chat reminds me I should mention the beauty of the souvenirs. And I'll tell you a quick story.
Okay.
I do another podcast with the fellow geocacher called Wits End, and he was going to go out on a Friday night and go find some caches to work up points for Cache Carnival. And his daughter, his adult daughter, said, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to go out caching. There's these souvenirs to earn." "Oh, souvenir. Can I look at them?" And she looks at them. She goes, "Oh, they are pretty. I want them." And so
that's so good.
In one afternoon, she earned 500 points.
Nice.
With highly favorited caches, enough to get all of the very well done artwork of these souvenirs.
I'll pass that back to Roxy, who's our designer, who does that amazing work.
Yep. So it was just the beauty of the souvenirs that inspired her to go out and to go get them.
Well, that is the goal. So I think perfect. Yeah,
That's pretty
great.
funny. I was at least able to get 4 of the 6 in total. Chris, how'd you do?
I got all 6.
Oh, nice.
I went out
Good
with Wits End the next day after he had already done enough to get 500. We went out the next day and got some more highly favorited caches, and I think I got to 474 in under 4 hours.
Wow.
Very good.
So
yeah.
we went to, an area down south of us that neither one of us had been to, and there were, like I say, a good number of highly favorited caches. And then later on, there was also an event. It was a week or two later that they managed to get the creation celebration tag on, and it truly was an event about creating caches.
That's great.
There was an event they held here in the city of Tacoma. They're going to start a Get a Clue series, playing the game of Clue. You have to find 21 geocaches, and in each cache is a card like you would have in the game of Clue.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you have to find, check them all off except the 3 that really are whodunit.
Yeah, whodunit with what? Yeah.
That's whodunit with what and where. So like, Colonel Mustard in the library with a candlestick. That kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah,
link that.
I don't think that's the answer, but I don't know. I'm hiding one of the caches, so I know one answer, but that doesn't help much. Not when there's 20 others to. So
that's a great idea. I love
each one of these souvenirs are tied to a city. Does the city have a big carnival celebration?
Yes. Yeah. It's each of those cities are in their country probably the biggest carnival celebrations, and they're also all most of them are very active geocaching countries, so that kind of covered two of those purposes.
Nice.
But then also, I mean, you could not, even though Brazil isn't as active, you cannot do a carnival campaign without the carnival in Rio. That's just ludicrous.
Exactly. And that's the reason it was the 500 point.
Exactly, because that is the ultimate carnival. Sorry, the other cities are great too. But
So do you have any stats that you can actually share with us on how many people earn the various souvenirs?
Yeah, I do. Let me look at my cheat sheet though. Sorry, I don't know them exactly by heart.
Oh, come on. You should have these just at the tip of your tongue.
Don't tell Brian. So there was, over the time of those 3 weeks, there were 379,000 favorite points awarded to caches, which was a significant higher amount than at the same time last year. So it definitely encouraged people to be a little more generous and, and show their love for caches. And then we had those 5 souvenirs. The first one in Cologne in Germany, and that was earned 187,000 times. And then we'll go, as it gets harder, we have a few less people earning the next souvenirs. And then I think it's not that interesting if I call it out. I will also, we're gonna have a retro coming out in the newsletter in a few days. So there will be more numbers. So I won't tell all the numbers and bore everybody to death, but there will be more numbers in that.
Hey, we like numbers on this show.
I do. Well, I give you a few more. So the Cache Carnival Rio de Janeiro that we just talked about, souvenir, that was earned 35,000 times. So definitely a little less, but only by the people that are really, really into carnival, I guess. And then we had about 1,200 creation celebration events worldwide, and 21,000 attendees on these. Whereas when I say 21,000 attendees, that's the exact number of accounts that logged and attended. So I think there were actually more people, because there's often people that have an account with their family, or or other people, they share an account or such. So it's probably a little more people that.
Right, exactly. Kind of like the problem with the event logs is you can't figure out how many people attended the event. So
Yeah,
Same thing with the souvenirs because they're based on that same thing.
exactly. It's just the hard, cold numbers.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found interesting in this one is that awarding of the favorite points, gets everyone more points.
Hmm.
And in areas like mine, we tend not to issue a whole lot of favorite points. So I'm sure we had a whole lot more favorite points issued during this promotion.
Yeah.
But now I wonder if the cash points or the cash favorites are skewed. If I go and look, am I going to find the caches that would get like 10 or 15 favorite
Well,
points used to be like really good in this area. Well, now
yeah.
do I have to start looking for ones that are getting like 50 favorite points?
Well, yeah, I think you have to go caching a lot to figure that out.
Yeah, it's going to take some serious research, I think.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to check in with your work and say, "I'm sorry, I've been tasked."
I'm sorry. I have
hours.
a new project to work on. I'll be back in 4 to 5 weeks.
Yes, we appreciate it.
I think
Yeah.
you put that much overtime in already, Daryl. You could probably have that much time off.
I don't think they'll give me that much comp time.
No.
They kind of cap that at some point, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in the first planning phase, there was also the thought of should we award points on the leaderboard for people that award favorite points, but then we decided against it because I think that would have seriously skewed, because then people would have just given away favorite points without liking a cache potentially, so
merit.
they can earn points. So yeah, so we deliberately said no, let's only award, points to people that get it, not the people that give it away. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If people would have been throwing out those favorite points willy-nilly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was interesting. You did nothing with trackables. You have that. This was all based on favorite points and finding there.
Yeah.
So if there weren't many geocaches in your area, there wasn't another way to earn points.
No, that's a good point. I think we thought because it already had those two components, and we did see in some some confusion sometimes, or it was sometimes hard to communicate, with you got to work with people that get a lot of information all day long. You want to make it snappy and get to the point. So we already had to communicate there's this cache carnival and then also the creation celebration component. And then I think if we would have to tie in trackables with that as well, it would have gotten a little bit of a, too complicated. But it's good feedback you're giving as to this is a way for people that have out cached the area to still participate and earn souvenirs. So thank you.
No, it's just interesting. I admit, I was in one of the previous promotions. I wasn't able to get out. I had other obligations, so I used the trackables to get me into the game.
No, that makes sense.
Which
that makes sense.
But they were there. So, but this one, no, you had to get out and find physical caches, which I really enjoy. I thought this one was very well done.
Thank you.
If you had a bunch of highly favorited caches, you could complete it, like I say, easily in an afternoon. And I thought it was just a lot of fun to go out. And who doesn't like to go out and find those highly favorited caches? Those are the ones that your fellow geocachers have said, this is the best of breed. It deserves a favorite point from me.
Yeah.
And, you're going out and finding caches with, 50, 100, 200 favorite points on them. That means a lot.
Yeah.
So please don't use another one of those favorite points, because I've used up all the close by highly favorited caches. I would have to drive a couple of hours.
Pinky promise.
Okay.
Well, you have already mentioned that the next one isn't going to involve that. Is there any kind of hints that you can give us just what might be coming and maybe how you go about deciding what those are going to be? What happens in the room?
Ooh. So it happens that we look at the things that need to be done, in the year from the tech side and see, can we squeeze in some work there for an upcoming campaign, and then depending on how much resources we have available, it either becomes something that is fairly little tech involved or a little more tech involved. And so maybe this year, we have a little more involvement. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's something new.
You may not be able to answer this question, and it's fine, but how many hours of programming does it take to make something like we just saw here in Cash Carnival, to be able to get those point systems in place and have it working on the scale of geocaching.com?
Gee, that's a good question.
And it's okay if you can't. I just thought it off the top of my head.
No, it's a good question. I can't give you an exact number of hours because I don't. Yeah, I would have to do some serious research and math, but I can tell you kind of in comparison, to other ones. So, for example, when we had Mary Hyde, the leaderboard came out, or the Friend League then was a completely new tool, right? It was a big new tool, something we hadn't had before. That was a considerable effort and a lot of hours and a lot of work, whereas we made tweaks to that existing system, and it took time too, but it wasn't as extensive. So the majority of the work for that one, I think, was more on kind of more the art side, the writing, and that was also like, I want to say, like, my name is on those on some of those articles, but I haven't written them all by myself. Like, sure. I have a team, right, that helps edit my weird German commas I said there, and all these things. So it's a big teamwork. Nobody does any of this by themselves.
So speaking of the team, I mean, I know there's technical aspects involved, but the creative aspects or the writing aspects.
Yeah.
How do you come up with the idea of Carnival? Did it just fit the time frame, or did you make the time frame fit the season?
It's hard to say. We had different ideas for it. We actually, we looked at, there was a few, I'm not going to say which ones we had because we might still use them for other things, but we had at least 5 or 6 different ideas on how we knew favorite points would be, focus. We knew we wanted to have an aspect of an event, which was kind of like, I don't know, do you remember the maker events?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we wanted to do something like that, and the cache quality, and then different themes just that would fit that. And we talked, and actually my colleague came up, she said, what about Carnival? Because it's so colorful, and I can just see that art, I can just see how pretty that would look, and how that would pop, and how much of a party that would be, kind of, so she had that in her head, and we were like, yeah.
Nice. So, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Audrey.
Now, here's another question. You don't have to answer it, but I'm going to toss it out there. It comes from the chat from GSM Times 2. When will the next promotion be?
In the summer.
Okay. Well, there we go. In the summer.
The Northern Hemisphere summer.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
I was just thinking.
We definitely have to make sure we're not being too northern centric. We have a lot of players also down under. And so we try to avoid terms like summer or spring, or as much as we can.
So everyone, stop caching so you save those caches.
No,
so you'll have them for the summer promotion.
She didn't.
We don't know what it is yet.
About finding caches. She just said it wouldn't be about favorite points.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need lots of caches. So don't find any caches just so that you can save them up.
No. Find them. Then see if you can hide new ones.
Oh.
So it probably isn't going to be a hide point or points for hiding then.
Oh, interesting.
This is how we get more information.
I don't think we will ever do that, unfortunately, because we do want people that hide a cache really
to
wanting to hide a cache.
Yeah, you want quality hides, not
Yeah,
trash
we don't
this just
them-
to get the points.
we don't want them to just throw a yogurt container behind their house, and so not that has ever happened.
It seemed
No,
oddly
never.
specific, but we'll continue.
Yeah.
One of the caches I found lately, and it's an issue with me, is like the front yard hides. They hide them in their own front yard, and I just feel so obvious going out into a neighborhood, stopping here, and the neighbors probably know all about it, and it's no issue, but it doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, my husband he's just so uncomfortable going caching with me. he's not a fan. I don't have but thankfully I work at a company with a lot of people that I can go caching with. So,
what company is that? Oh, wait. I know that. The Caching Dead from New York says we have a CO here that earned over 3,000 points.
Whoa!
So
you must have good caches.
Yeah, must have a bunch of caches out there. That's impressive. Wet Coaster says I was in Prague for a week. It was hard to find a cache that didn't have at least 100 favorite points. And that's favorite with a U, so it's spelled differently.
That's when you skip over to Europe, you pick up a U here and there.
Well, before we wrap this up, are there any other insights that you can share with us about geocaching.com?
You want all the gossip?
We want all the gossip.
We just need something to be able to blackmail Rock Chalk into sending us more people. So what's a good Rock Chalk story that you can tell us?
Well, I don't think that he has ever actually found a single cache in real life. I think he has been couch logging the entire time.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think all of those Instagram photos and everything are just stolen from other people's accounts.
Yeah.
Oh, he's very good. He's very good with Photoshop.
Yes.
There. See, now we get the answers.
Now we're getting the inside scoop. That's what I've been looking for. Okay.
He'll forever regret that he made me come into the show.
Well, we enjoy having the only podcast episode you'll ever appear on. we're the honor of hosting it tonight.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, it was fun while it lasted.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. We certainly appreciate it. And, of course, it goes without saying, we love geocaching.com and all the things that HQ does. So thank you much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on and letting me talk about something so fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Now, folks, go out and make sure you check the Cachemaniacs website at cachemaniacs.com for more on the Geo Gearheads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by emailing geogearheads at cachemaniacs.com or through the many channels of social media. Your support helps keep the Cachemaniac shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on our website to support the Cachemaniac shows. Geo Gearheads is produced by Chris Umfenauer and Daryl Wattenberg. The show's copyright 2019 by Daryl Wattenberg. All rights reserved.